Welcome to our YouTube channel. I am Sarah Bennett. Today, we are talking about a very serious topic, heart attack. Dr. Eugene is here with me in the studio. He is a specialist in cardiology and metabolism who has spent more than 30 years working closely with older patients. Welcome back, Doctor. We are glad to have you with us today.
Thank you, Sarah, and greetings to everyone watching. I am very glad to be here to share what I believe every person over 60 should know. A heart attack is not a surprise. It is an outcome that can be predicted and prevented.
Let me go straight to the first question. What exactly is a heart attack, and why is it so dangerous?
A heart attack, also called myocardial infarction, happens when the blood flow to the heart becomes blocked. When the heart does not receive enough blood, the heart muscle cells begin to die. The danger is that this process can happen very quickly, and without urgent treatment, it can cause permanent damage or even death.
Many people still believe a heart attack happens suddenly without warning. Is that true, doctor?
Not entirely. Most heart attacks do have warning signs, but they are often very subtle. It may be unusual fatigue, mild chest pressure, shortness of breath, or pain in the shoulder or jaw. Older adults often dismiss these signs, thinking they're just age-related or minor issues. That is why so many cases do not get treated in time.
Then the important question is, what can we do to prevent it?
There are many steps, but the first is to understand that the heart is extremely sensitive to how we live, especially to what we eat. Certain foods and natural herbs have been studied and shown to provide strong support for heart health, but many people do not know how to use them properly.
Are you referring to familiar things like garlic, turmeric, and green tea?
Yes. When used correctly and in the right amounts, those foods can reduce inflammation, lower blood pressure, improve circulation, and decrease the risk of coronary artery blockage.
Doctor, let me ask a very simple question. What does the human heart actually need to function well every single day?
The heart works nonstop, from the moment we are born until the day we take our last breath. The first thing the heart needs is oxygen. Without oxygen, heart cells die very quickly. And for oxygen to reach the heart, we need blood vessels that are clean and open. Beyond oxygen, the heart also needs energy, which comes mainly from glucose, healthy fats, and most importantly, nutrient-rich blood flow.
In other words, the heart is like a machine. If the pipes are dirty and the fuel is poor, it will eventually break down?
Exactly. I often compare blood vessels to the plumbing system in a house. If it is left without maintenance for too long, bad fats, debris, and inflammation begin to build up. One day it clogs completely, and the heart no longer has a supply line for blood.
I hear you mention inflammation quite a lot. Why is inflammation linked to heart attacks?
Inflammation is the body's natural response, but when it becomes chronic, it turns into a threat. Inside the arteries, inflammation damages the vessel walls, creating the conditions for bad cholesterol to stick and form plaques. When a plaque ruptures, the body creates a blood clot. If that clot blocks the flow of blood to the heart, a heart attack occurs.
So to keep the heart healthy, we need to prevent inflammation, keep the blood vessels clean, and maintain good oxygen flow.
Correct. And to do that, we need three things. Eat properly by reducing inflammatory foods and increasing anti-inflammatory foods. Stay physically active with light exercise to improve circulation. Manage stress and sleep because prolonged stress also increases vascular inflammation.
These sound simple, but they're not always easy to maintain, right?
Not easy, but absolutely worth it. The good news is that even small adjustments make a difference. Change your cooking oil, add more vegetables, get better sleep. After just a few weeks, you may notice more stable blood pressure, deeper sleep, and less fatigue.
So we do not always have to wait for medication. Even small lifestyle changes can make the heart stronger every single day?
Exactly. And next, I will share the details of natural herbs that have been proven to benefit the heart, including garlic, turmeric, ginger, and several others.
I'm eager to hear more. Thank you, doctor. And as promised, this is the moment where I want to go deeper into the part that so many people are interested in. Which herbs truly benefit the heart, and how should they be used correctly?
All right, Sarah. I will go through them one by one. Only the herbs that have clear scientific evidence and that I have personally encouraged my patients to use. The most important thing is to understand their true benefits, use them correctly, and not overuse them.
Dr. Eugene, in this part, I want to return to one of the topics that many people are most curious about. Which herbs are truly beneficial for the heart? Not everyone knows how to use them correctly, especially older adults.
Absolutely, Sarah. This is a part I particularly enjoy because it is so close to daily life. In my 30 years of working with older patients, I have seen many improve their heart health with small changes, and using herbs properly is one of the best examples. Let us start with garlic. Garlic is one of the strongest and most common herbs for supporting the heart. It can help lower blood pressure slightly, reduce bad cholesterol, and most importantly, prevent blood clots. This is critical in older adults because blood tends to become thicker as we age. The effect comes from allicin, an active compound that only forms when fresh garlic is crushed and left to sit for a few minutes. That means the correct way to use garlic is to crush it, let it rest for about 10 minutes, and then eat it raw. Do not overcook it because high heat destroys allicin. If eating it raw is too difficult, aged black garlic or standardized garlic capsules are alternatives. But I must emphasize that anyone taking blood thinners should not increase garlic intake on their own. They must consult their physician first.
What I find fascinating is that something as common as garlic, found in nearly every household, can have effects that are almost medicinal for the heart.
Exactly. And next is turmeric. Turmeric is an extremely powerful anti-inflammatory. Inflammation inside the arteries is one of the silent causes of heart damage, which is why turmeric plays such an important role. However, curcumin, the active compound in turmeric, is poorly absorbed on its own. That is why it should be combined with black pepper, which contains piperine to boost absorption into the bloodstream. I often recommend that patients mix a glass of warm water in the morning with about 1/3 of a teaspoon of turmeric powder, a pinch of black pepper, and perhaps a few drops of oil, such as coconut or olive oil, to further enhance absorption. Standardized curcumin capsules are also a good option for those who do not like the taste of turmeric. It is important to remember that turmeric should not be taken on an empty stomach, and people with gallbladder disease should be cautious with long-term use.
Doctor, you mentioned inflammation, and that makes me think of ginger. I have heard ginger also helps reduce inflammation.
That is correct. Ginger is an excellent herb for supporting blood circulation and reducing vascular inflammation. It can also help stabilize blood pressure when used regularly. The ways to use it are very flexible. You can make ginger tea, chew a few thin slices after meals, or add it to soups. But do not overdo it. For older adults, 2 to 4 grams of ginger per day is enough. If taken in larger amounts, ginger can have a mild blood thinning effect, which is especially important to consider for those already on anticoagulant medication.
Garlic, turmeric, and ginger are all very easy to find. What about green tea, doctor? Many older adults drink it daily.
And they are making a wise choice. Green tea is rich in catechins, especially EGCG, a powerful antioxidant that helps reduce bad cholesterol, improve vessel elasticity, and lower inflammation. Just 1 to 2 cups of green tea a day can be beneficial. However, it should not be consumed on an empty stomach as it may cause irritation. It should also not be taken too close to the time of medication, because green tea can reduce the absorption of certain drugs and minerals, and it is best to avoid drinking it late at night since it contains a small amount of caffeine that can interfere with sleep.
I have also heard of another spice that is often mentioned on lists of heart-healthy foods, and that is cinnamon.
That is right. Cinnamon, especially Ceylon cinnamon, can help regulate blood sugar, reduce inflammation, and support lipid control. It is a very good herb, but only in small amounts. I usually advise patients not to exceed half a teaspoon per day. You can sprinkle it on oatmeal, add it to smoothies, or brew it as tea. The important point is to avoid taking high doses of cassia cinnamon because it contains coumarin, which in large amounts may harm the liver.
And what is the final herb on your list?
That would be rosemary. Rosemary has a strong aroma, but is very useful. It helps improve circulation, supports memory, and has antioxidant properties. It can be used as a seasoning for roasted dishes or brewed as a tea from dried leaves. Some people also like to diffuse rosemary essential oil at home for relaxation, which indirectly benefits heart health. But if using essential oil, it should always be diluted before applying to the skin or diffusing. Never use it directly.
Doctor, do you recommend that people take all 6 of these at the same time?
It is not necessary to take all of them. Just choose 1 or 2 herbs that your body tolerates well and that are easy to include in your daily routine. What matters is consistency and correct use, not quantity. The body, especially the heart, needs time to respond. Nothing changes overnight, but if you maintain it for weeks and months, you will see the benefits.
I think this is the part many people have been waiting for. Thank you, doctor, for being so thorough. And I would guess that if we combine these herbs with heart-healthy foods, the results would be even better?
Correct. Herbs are one part of the picture. I will now go into detail about the foods that should be part of your daily meals if you want a strong heart for the long term.
Excellent. Then let us continue with the foods that protect your heart. Eat them every day, live more years. Doctor, let me ask you something even more practical. Food. A simple question. If I want my heart to be healthier, what should I eat every day?
That is a very practical question, Sarah. I often tell my patients this. Every time you eat, you are either nourishing your heart or harming it. There are certain foods that have been studied extensively and shown to support heart function, reduce the risk of atherosclerosis, and help stabilize blood pressure and cholesterol. Here are the main groups. 1. Dark cacao. Benefit. Rich in flavonoids, which help relax blood vessels, gently lower blood pressure, and improve circulation. How to choose. Look for cacao that is at least 70% low in sugar with no added milk. How to use. 1 to 2 small squares a day is enough. You can eat it directly or mix cacao powder into unsweetened nut milk. Caution, do not overconsume as it still contains caffeine and calories. 2. Extra virgin olive oil. Benefit. Rich in monounsaturated fats, anti-inflammatory, and protective for blood vessels. How to use. Replace industrial cooking oils. Best used drizzled over vegetables, soups, or salads, not for high-heat frying. Caution. Store in a cool, dark place away from heat. 3. Colorful vegetables. Benefit. Provide antioxidants, reduce inflammation, and supply fiber that helps lower cholesterol. Examples: carrots, bell peppers, broccoli, beets, kale. How to use. Add to soups, steam, sauté lightly with olive oil, or eat raw if tolerated. Caution. Grapefruit can interact with some heart medications, so consult your doctor. 5. Whole grains. Benefit. Provide soluble fiber, which lowers cholesterol and stabilizes blood sugar. Examples: oats, brown rice, millet, barley. How to use. Eat at breakfast or use as a substitute for white rice in main meals. 6. Fatty fish. Benefit. High in omega-3 fatty acids, which reduce inflammation, lower triglycerides, and cut the risk of stroke. Examples: salmon, mackerel, sardines. How to use. Grill, steam, or pan-sear lightly with olive oil. 2 to 3 servings per week are enough. Avoid deep-fried fish or canned fish with high sodium.
The foods you mentioned sound easy to find, but some older adults still wonder, do I have to eat all of these every single day?
Not at all. What matters is variety, rotation, and consistency. You might have citrus fruit in the morning, use olive oil on a salad for lunch, and add fish to dinner 2 or 3 times a week. The key is to gradually shift away from processed foods and toward fresh, natural foods.
Do you have any advice for older adults when they begin making dietary changes?
Yes, I often tell my patients not to change everything at once. Start with one small change each week. For example, switch from white bread to whole grain. Replace cooking oil with olive oil. Reduce salt slightly or add a new vegetable. Habits are built step by step, but the impact on the heart is real and noticeable.
Thank you, doctor. And I suppose that alongside eating the right foods, there are also things we must avoid.
Exactly. Let me be clear about the foods that damage blood vessels, increase inflammation, and raise the risk of heart attack.
Then you do not want to miss this part. Here it is. What to avoid if you want a healthy heart. Doctor, you have guided us in detail on which foods to eat to protect the heart. But I believe our viewers are also wondering about the opposite. What should we avoid?
That is right. This part is just as important. I often tell my patients, it is not only about what you eat, it is also about what you avoid every day that truly protects the heart. There are 3 groups of foods I always advise older adults to reduce or avoid as much as possible. 1. Industrial oils and trans fats. Why they are dangerous. Cheap oils like soybean, corn, and palm oil, when used for repeated frying, produce trans fats. These fats raise bad cholesterol, LDL, and lower good cholesterol, HDL. Impact on the heart. They damage the blood vessel walls, trigger inflammation, and create the perfect conditions for plaque buildup, the main cause of heart attack. Common sources: fried fast foods, packaged snacks, cookies, chips, microwave popcorn. 2. Refined sugar and sugary drinks. Why they are dangerous. Sugar spikes blood glucose, drives inflammation, and disrupts fat metabolism. Excess sugar in the body is converted by the liver into triglycerides, and high triglycerides are a major risk factor for heart attack. Common sources: soft drinks, candy, energy drinks, sweetened teas, sugary breakfast cereals, condensed milk. Note: even boxed fruit juices often contain hidden sugars. 3. Processed foods, red meats, and deli meats. Why they are dangerous. These foods are loaded with salt, preservatives, and additives that raise blood pressure and inflame the vessels. In addition, nitrites and nitrates found in deli meats can increase vascular constriction and damage the heart. Examples: sausages, bacon, hot dogs, canned meats, instant noodles, processed cheeses, packaged broths.
So the general rule is the less processed the food, the better it is for the heart?
Exactly. Imagine you are at the market. If the food does not need a label, like fresh vegetables, fish, or fruit, it is usually a good choice. But if you can't even read the list of ingredients on the package, chances are your heart will not know how to process it either.
Do you have any simple advice that older adults can easily remember?
Yes, I call it the 3 no's rule. No deep-fried foods, no refined sugar, no canned or heavily processed foods on a regular basis. If you simply follow these 3 rules while eating vegetables, fish, olive oil, getting enough sleep, and walking daily, your risk of heart attack will drop significantly.
Those are very practical and easy to apply recommendations. We have talked a lot about causes, herbs, and foods, but I think the hardest part for many people is how to combine all of this into daily life in a realistic way.
That is true. Knowledge is not the problem. The challenge is turning it into action. I usually advise my patients to focus on 3 main pillars: proper diet, light physical activity, and adequate sleep with a stable mind. First, proper diet. It does not have to be complicated, but it does require discipline. Breakfast: a bowl of oatmeal, fresh fruit, 1 to 2 slices of avocado, or a boiled egg. If you are used to it, add a little turmeric with black pepper to warm tea or a smoothie. Lunch: steamed vegetables, fish or chicken breast, brown rice. Use olive oil instead of heavy sauces. Dinner: keep it light. vegetable soup, oatmeal porridge, or steamed eggs. A tip: crush fresh garlic, let it sit for 10 minutes, and add it to food after cooking to preserve the active compounds. Fresh ginger can be sliced thin and made into tea before breakfast. Second, physical activity. It does not need to be intense, but it must be consistent. Walk 20 to 30 minutes each day, especially in the morning or late afternoon. Practice deep breathing and light stretching at home to improve circulation and reduce stress. If you have chronic conditions, consult your doctor before starting any exercise. The key is not heavy workouts, but steady routine. Third, sleep and mental health, which are often overlooked but critically important. Get 7 to 8 hours of sleep each night. Avoid stressful news before bed. Stay connected with children, grandchildren, and friends. Positive emotions are medicine for the heart as well. And finally, here is the correct way to use the herbs we discussed. Garlic, 1 raw clove per day, or aged black garlic supplements. Do not combine with blood thinner medication without a doctor's advice. Turmeric, mix turmeric powder with black pepper in warm water or smoothies. Do not take on an empty stomach. Ginger, light ginger tea ideally in the morning. Avoid if you have stomach pain. Green tea, 1 to 2 cups per day after meals. Do not drink close to medication time. Cinnamon, sprinkle a small amount on breakfast foods, no more than half a teaspoon daily. Rosemary, use as a spice, brew as tea, or diffuse diluted essential oil for relaxation.
So it means we do not need to change everything in one day, but simply start with one small step, correct, doctor?
Exactly. For example, today you switch your cooking oil to olive oil. Tomorrow, you replace white rice with oats. Then you begin walking in the morning. Each small change adds up, and together they can make a big difference for your heart.
Before we close, do you have a final message for those in their 60s or 70s who want to keep their heart strong for the long term?
Yes, I want to leave you with just one thought. It is never too late to take care of your heart. Whether you are 65 or 85, if you start paying attention to your meals, your sleep, and your activity, your heart can still improve. I have seen this happen with many of my patients.
Thank you so much, Dr. Eugene, for this insightful and practical conversation. I believe many who are listening today will feel inspired to begin making changes. And thank you to our viewers for joining us on our YouTube channel. If you found this episode helpful, please share it with your loved ones, especially older adults. Be sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you do not miss future videos. We will see you again in the next episode.